What small thing that pisses you off immensely do you think no one else on Reddit would relate to? I can't explain it, but I hate it when 5 and 7 are next to each other. I think my brain is broken. Maybe you were traumatized by Heinz 57 sauce as a child. Or did you get run over by a 57 Chevy? Maybe the Chevy was on the way to the levee. I hope the levee's not dry though. I hate the rusty smell of coins, doorknobs, etc. I hate the trace of it on my hands and how hard it is to take it off. Vinegar and Dawn dish soap, my friend. I love this solution. Hate a smell. Just make it smell worse. Does anyone else get pissed when appetizers come in odd numbers? My group once ordered the party platter of finger food. There were 17 pieces of finger food. 17 is a prime number. It was literally impossible to properly divide the finger food equally, regardless of how big the party was. I could only assume the chef was a former mathematician who had suffered a nervous breakdown and had gone into the catering career so he could make people suffer by forcing them into etiquette conundrums. But what if the party was 17? Every time I roll my vacuum cord up, the plug end always ends at the top curved part, making it difficult to snap it in place. I do mine as a tight figure 8 when wrapping it. This keeps it on the side instead of the top for my vacuum, at least. That my husband thought it'd be cute to put his computer desk in the family room where we have the TV so he could still spend time with me while playing games or working on stuff. But now I gotta deal with his loud ass cackling with his friends while I'm trying to watch a movie/show. As a married person, this is one of those I get we're married, but why are you in here moments. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it and he's quieter when I'm watching something, but it's still annoying as heck. The Byzantine Empire was actually called the Eastern Roman Empire. The reason that it was called the Byzantine Empire was to discredit it. The Roman Empire fell when Constantinople was taken over. Dude, I get so pissed when people call it Byzantine Empire. Or whenever I play strategy games where it's called Byzantine Empire. It was literally called Basileia Romaean, which translates to Roman Empire. Finally someone gets me, like him in history class and the teacher says Byzantine Empire and I lose my shit. It angers me to no end that people at work leave the sugar container open in the break room. Do you want ants? This is how you get ants. I never figured out where Arch learned that phrase from. It's such an odd thing to hear coming out of an adult male character's mouth. You know someone just had to tell it to him a ton of times when he was a child. Mallory said it a couple times. My wife squeezes the toothpaste from the middle of the tube. Now my son does too. It's infuriating and I feel like I have failed as a father. I was the only one in the house growing up who rolled the toothpaste. I did this because of Malcolm in the middle. Wait, people roll their toothpaste every day? I use the middle, so I know exactly where the toothpaste will go. Phone apps that you can't adjust the text size or use the 2-finger zoom on. Looking at you official Reddit mobile. Phone apps that are pre-installed and can't be deleted. Still the reason I won't buy a Samsung phone. People who knock and then open the door half a second later. Looking at you. Parents. I'm respecting your privacy by knocking, but asserting my authority as your father by coming in anyway. Timely, fairly odd parents. Respect. The phrase "I'm just saying." Apostrophe. Yeah, well, just saying doesn't make it okay to just say what you just said. People that call your name and then expect you to come to them instead of making any effort to come to you. My mom LMAO always thought this was a requirement for becoming a mom. When someone says "what," then when I ask them what happened they say, "Don't worry." Any kind of loud reaction to things, like maybe on a phone, when you ask and they just brush you off. It's like we are the only ones in the room or in the car. Why? Tell me. That's why you just don't ask. I hate when some channels speed up the intro songs of shows and sometimes random parts of episodes just so they can fit in one more commercial. At first I thought I was crazy, I would think the song was slightly off pitch and feel like there was something wrong with me. No, it's just greedy cable assholes giving me one more chance to hear about mesothelioma during my TV time. Why do I relate to hearing about mesothelioma every 2 seconds? Ducking knock knock on my door for the last time. No, I won't let you out of the basement. I particularly hate when I hear a knocking. Not even a knocking, more of a tapping. As of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. A visitor, I think. Tapping at my chamber door. Only this and nothing more. Then I go to open, but there's only darkness there and nothing more. Then I hear a tapping somewhat louder than before. Surely that is something at my lattice, I think. 'Tis the wind and nothing more. So I open the shutter and then, with many a flirt and flutter in their steps, a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. There he was, perched upon a bust of Pallas just above my chamber door. Perched and sat and nothing more. And I ask him what his name is. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Yeah, I kinda hate when this happens too. When people say something rude or offensive and then say it's just a joke or I'm just kidding. Or saying, you know, I'm just sarcastic. It's like, yeah, I get that you're mean. Doesn't make it any better when you claim your mean attitude is sarcasm. Ducking with the radio settings. Leave that shit alone. My truck. My radio. Don't change the settings ever. For me it's backseat drivers. Don't tell me what lane to get in. You want to drive? Fine. If not, then shut the duck up. It's especially enjoyable when they don't drive. This is mostly related to the fact that I have anger issues. Nothing too serious, just enough for people to kinda stare. But it absolutely pisses me off when I'm in an argument and they say just admit you're wrong. Like BTCH, have you ever considered the fact that maybe you're wrong? Groups of people who walk side by side on the sidewalk very slowly, who have no regard for people who need to get somewhere in time. So, in the USA, it's a thing now for elderly people to park their shopping cart right in the middle of the aisle, and in a way so nobody can get past until you ask, usually multiple times, to get by. This has been going on for a few years. They act as if they don't know they are doing it, but literally can watch them do it time and time again. To be fair, I don't think this is limited to just the elderly. This seems to happen to me every time I go shopping. And I've noticed it from all ages, even as young as high schoolers. Seems like a completed lack of awareness and bugs the hell out of me, tbh. People that hold their phones like a pizza and use speakerphone. I just hate speakerphone in general. If I call someone, I'm expecting to just talk to them, not them and everyone in a 50-foot radius. Mayonnaise in almost every supermarket sandwich. This. And it's always on the side with all the toppings, so you can't even scrape it off easily. I just hate anticlimactic endings. The little thing that pisses me off is when people write with unnecessary periods. I cannot stand when someone knocks on the door of a public toilet. Fortunately, this trend seems to have mostly died off. It is unnecessary. How many toilet doors don't have locks? Just try the knob or door, and if it is locked, 99% chance the toilet room is occupied whilst I'm pissing or shitting, and the door is knocked on. It makes it out that a verbal response needs to be made from my end. I've no interest in having a conversation with who the duck knows is on the other side of the door. After walking in on someone who's forgotten to lock the door more than once, I always knock. Open the door slowly. They'll probably notice, especially in stalls, since you'll probably hit them with the door, lol. Finding short clips of old interviews you really wanna watch and not being able to find the whole thing cause popular talk shows like Jay Leno, Conan, Inside the Actors Studio, Arsenio Hall, Ellen Show, Chelsea Handler, hell even Watch What Happens Live are not preserved and not available on YouTube, Pirate Bay, illegal streaming sites or Internet Archive. Also, when YouTube deletes, privates, or copyright strikes them. When people just let the dishes slam against each other when putting them away, it immediately puts me in an off mood. I hate it. Like, my god. Ducking stop LMAO is doubling. Multiple times a day my husband says. The problem is or the reason is because. Apostrophe. You is the because. The sound of someone eating. My brother just doesn't close his mouth while eating and it's disgusting. Imo, if you can't close your mouth while eating, you're not fully civilized. That the most upvoted suggestion on this thread will be something that's actually super relatable. Ironic because this is too relatable to be a good comment. Haha, not lost on me. But hey, it's not all that upvoted. When people say here and just hand me something that they want, eat or do, instant anger. Or when they say coffee, cause they want me to make them some. I seem to be the only one with this issue. I just hate it though. Like, am I not worth the extra air you will use to actually give me a full sentence? Just 3 words. It's all I want. But apparently I'm entitled. You. Coffee. Go. I'm not sure if that would be better or if I would pour the coffee down their shirt. The phrase you do you. You do you. Boo. Over-engineered toasters where you have to push a button to pop the toast early, instead of just raising the lever that's literally connected to the toast. When people touch my nose in a certain way, even with consent, I can't take it. It's an unexplainable thing that makes me think I was killed through a nose accident in a previous life. Why are people just touching your nose? Because they're a good boy. Styrofoam. I work at a furniture store and that shit gets everywhere. The size of San Bernardino County, so ducking annoying. Ruins every interesting map. And it makes the drive to Vegas seem so long. It takes 5 to 6 hours to cross the damn county line. My sister leaves the toothpaste cap open all day and I tell her that it attracts bugs, but she don't care. That one dude who doesn't close the tabs once they are done using UPC/laptop. Worse is the person who opens multiple browser instances, each with an insane number of tabs open. I hate long ass comment threads. Like I'm scrolling down and down just to see the next comment. It annoys the hell out of me, especially when the whole comment section is just one long thread. Stepping on something wet when I've only got socks on. Pink and red together, or red and lime green together. Red is a tough color. Because it's very rare you see things that are just red. Things are either orange red or purple red, but usually not just red. Like cherry red is usually red with purple in it. And it's horrible when someone puts pink with an orange red shade when pink would go far better with a purple red shade. Lime green goes well with an orange red shade, but not a purple red shade. People mix it up all the time. Pink and green go well with red if it's just a red, but people don't do that and manufacturers rarely do that. So, yeah, I completely get that. This is more a jab at my dad, but one thing that greatly pisses me off is not being able to listen to more than 30 seconds of a song before changing it. Like, listen to the whole ducking song. Don't change it before the chorus. How can you like a song and not listen to the whole thing? Another one that pisses me off is when people want to argue about wanting to not wear a seatbelt in my vehicle. I'm the one driving. You are in my vehicle. I don't care if you don't wear one in yours. But I'm not going anywhere unless you put it on. Don't even think about clicking in the seatbelt and just putting the shoulder strap behind you. I have actually pulled over and stopped because someone did that. In my vehicle you put your seatbelt on, and you do so correctly, or we are not going anywhere. There have been stories about people in car accidents where the non-seatbelted passenger flew through the car, not dying themselves, but killing an actually seatbelted passenger or the driver by falling onto them. So it is definitely everyone's prerogative to insist others wear their seatbelts. I get called a prude about seatbelts, but it's really just one of those things where I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I were to get in a car accident and my friend/mom/whoever was with me died because I allowed them to not wear a seatbelt. I would constantly blame myself for their death if that were to happen. When people move my shit at work when I'm not there. English speakers that over enunciate words from another language using an accent of that language. It's some weird ass virtue signaling thing. Just stop it. Well, I do that. But not to virtue signal. I do it to be a pretentious prick. Mozzarella. I sneeze when I first start thinking about sex, or when I start to get horny. Not just any sneeze, mind you. The full-blown dad sneeze. I just be out and about. See someone who catches my eye and bam, dad sneeze. When someone jumps into the middle of a serious conversation and attempts to make a quick joke. For example, we've all seen the guy who will dive into a deep thread on politics or religion with "can't we all just get along? Lol." I hate someone touching my forehead. I don't have a large forehead, by the way, but I just hate people do it. Why are people touching your forehead? And who? When someone says eat food, of course you're going to eat food. What else would you be eating? It's really dumb. I know. I don't think I've ever heard someone say eat food. It super hits the question, I guess. When people say, for example, I was sat in front of the television, instead of I was sitting in front of the television. I've only recently noticed people doing this, but it drives me nuts. What if they were placed in front of the TV by someone else? Then it should be I was placed in front of the television. Apostrophe. Toilet paper rolls placed facing the incorrect way. You know what way? I feel you, man. I feel you. It's especially annoying when it was someone who also claims to hate it, but does it anyway just to infuriate you. r/dankmem's not being funny. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.